Leslie Lanning, and I'm here to educate. We need to be aware of what the GOP is doing so that when we make our decision to vote, we vote for our own best interest. The GOP has been trying to dismantle the Constitution and the very foundation of the Republic for decades. They're closer now than ever before, thanks to Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump. They have written it down in Project 2025, also known as Agenda 47. When Donald Trump announced he was going to run in 2016, he made no effort to hide that he supported this agenda. He immediately attacked the media, calling them the enemy of the people. He called for eliminating the protections in place so that they could be sued. That protection is the First Amendment. It was put there for a reason. The media is the first of this set of checks and balances to keep our government as honest as possible as in the capacity that they can. More recently, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, expressed interest publicly in going after birth control. The Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade and opened the door for much more by way of limitations on our First Amendment rights. Donald Trump also attacked Black Lives Matter movement, calling for them to be arrested and jailed for doing nothing more than exercising their First Amendment rights. They also demonized Colin Kaepernick and his peaceful kneeling campaign. All of these attacks on the First Amendment are trying to force their interpretation of the Constitution and religion on all of us. They want to eliminate free speech and criminalize the right to peaceful protest for petition of the government for redress of grievances. The GOP and the Supreme Court are also attacking the Ninth Amendment, the enumeration in the Constitution via amendments of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. To put that more simply, the use of the Constitution via amendments to take away the rights guaranteed to the people shall not be interpreted in such a way as to remove those rights from the people. This was done through the Supreme Court decision, Citizens United. The 14th Amendment, Section 1, guarantees that all who are subject to the jurisdiction of the United States, whether they be natural born or naturalized, equal protection under the law. By not allowing women equal rights, by ratifying the Equal Rights Amendment, including body autonomy, we are not getting equal protection under the law. Reversal of Roe v. Wade severely diminished our protections under the law, including the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, otherwise known as HIPAA, Privacy Act. If a woman is forced to defend her healthcare decisions in open court, they become a matter of public record, and she is no longer protected. Her privacy is out there for anybody that wants it. To further complicate and criminalize abortions, laws were written in such a vague way as to make physicians think twice about whether or not to provide life-saving care for women and girls. It makes them second guess whether or not to provide this care for fear of losing their license. Therefore, women are no longer protected by EMTALA laws, which state that if you present to an ER with healthcare emergencies, they cannot turn you away. But women are being turned away. Make no mistake, women convicted of a felony violating these laws by having an abortion lose their right to vote. The 14th Amendment also went after Jim Crow laws in Section 2 and gave Congress the power to enforce by appropriate legislation the provisions of this article. This should apply to gerrymandering, should deem it unconstitutional. The 15th Amendment gave black men and former slaves the right to vote. This has been under attack for years, decades, by both gerrymandering and unfair and unequal law enforcement, targeting black Americans for decades, even after the 14th and 15th Amendments were passed and ratified. Most important and perhaps most concerning of these attacks on the 14th Amendments, Section 3 and Section 4. Section 3 bans anyone who holds public office, anyone running for public office, from holding that office if they participated or engaged in seditious conspiracy or insurrection. Section 4 allows public funding for repairs sustained in an act of insurrection to rebuild without question. It also bans the use of public funds in committing insurrection. The GOP wants to rewrite the Constitution to suit their purposes and dismantle it altogether. They want to eliminate the voice of the people. They want a farce of a democracy ruled by the Christian right. They don't want freedom of religion. They want freedom of their brand of Christianity. They want power for the GOP, not the people. After the founders signed and settled the Constitution, Benjamin Franklin was asked what kind of government we had. He replied, "A republic, if we can keep it." A republic is defined as a state in which a state is ruled by representatives of the citizen body. The founders spoke of their intent in the Federalist Papers. They included in the structure of our government the consent of the governed. A government's legitimacy and moral right to use state power is justified and lawful only when consented or agreed to by the people over which that political power is exercised. We have a voice. Our voice is a vote. Use your voice. Help us save our republic. We will fight back and we won't go back.
Yes.
Woo! That was so good. Y'all, that was so good. Thank you.
Speak out, people. Say what you think.